Hi there, I'm Erin with Five Parks Yoga. I'm so glad you could join me for class today. Today's class is going to be multifaceted. So we are going to be using a wall and some props for this class, which is going to include deep stretching, restorative postures, inversions, lots of alignment cues, and core, like low core strengthening, and just overall strengthening as well. The only thing that this class does not include is flow. So between each posture, we're gonna get set up for the next posture because we've got a lot going on in these postures. So this class is perfect for you if you're looking to improve alignment, really get in touch with new parts of your body that you might not notice if you're flowing from posture to posture. And I personally have been dealing with a little bit of low back pain. So if you have low back pain, this class is really going to benefit you with the stretches that we're going to be doing, as well as some of the deep core strengthening that we're going to be doing. So I don't often use props in class on YouTube, but if you have them, grab them. This is a perfect class for them. So a yoga strap is great. If you have a yoga strap, and you can pause this video and set it up, but you're gonna want to make a big loop, and you can test the loop. I want your loop to be the size of your knees at hip distance apart. So your feet and your knees and your hips will be all in alignment when your legs are in the loop and you're pressing outward. And then you can take some blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books. My blocks are very narrow, so if you have a thick block, you probably only need one or two. And then if you have a bolster, you can use a bolster. I do not have a bolster. This is just my cushion from my outdoor couch. So this is just to support you in legs up the wall if you want it. If you do not have props or don't want to use them, don't worry about it. You can do all of these postures without props. So I will cue you with the props if you have them and you want to use them. And we're going to basically do all of our spinal, what we would typically do in a spinal warm-up throughout class. So I'm not going to do a traditional spinal warm-up, but we are going to, in our seated position, stretch out and warm up the neck. So once you're all set up, you've got your props, you've got your wall, find a nice wall space. You can, I just removed some stuff from my wall. At the end, with legs up the wall, we're gonna go into a straddle, so you might wanna have just enough room that you can straddle, and if you don't, then you don't have to straddle, so that's fine as well. So get all set up, come into a seated position, ground your sitting bones on the floor, sit up nice and tall, roll your shoulders down and away from your ears, rest your hands on your knees. You can find a comfortable place to gaze at the floor in front of you, or you can close your eyes, whatever's more comfortable. Breathe in through your nose, hold it at the top. Exhale through your mouth. Close your lips. Begin to breathe in and out through your nose. So just taking these moments here to ground your energy, to settle into your space, to prepare yourself for this class. So listen to the sound of your breath as it goes in and out through your nose, working toward making your inhales and your exhales a little bit longer and slower and smoother. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. Continue breathing deeply, and you can open your eyes if they're closed, and we're going to take some neck stretches. So go ahead and extend your right hand off to the right. You can just tent your fingertips, bring your left hand to the top of your head, and then draw your left ear toward your shoulder. Come back through center and switch sides. So bring your left hand to the floor, tent your fingers, bring your right hand to the top of your head, and bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Come back to center, bring both hands to the floor, bring your chin forward into your chest. Keep your chin down, but just kind of relax the stretch and then just rock your head side to side. Just a couple rocks here. Come back to center, and then bring your chin up toward the ceiling, stretching through your throat. And come back to neutral, and then just come up to a standing position. So you can peek at the screen. I'm going to show you what we're doing next, and then you won't be facing the screen the whole time, but you're going to stand toward the wall with your feet about a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're going to do some spine twisting and mobility and core strengthening here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to twist and take our hands to the wall, bend the elbows a little bit, bring your face a little bit closer to the wall, press off the wall. It's not a big press, big movement, and you're going to switch, bring your hands to the wall, and then lean toward the wall. And we're just going to rotate back and forth. So go ahead and begin bringing your hands to the wall, twisting through your spine, coming back through center, switching. Keep going for a couple more, really noticing your core muscles as they work in this twist, arm muscles as you bring your face closer to the wall, and the mobility in your spine. Okay, we're gonna do one more to each side. All right, and then come back to center. Bring your toes out to a 45-degree angle. Move away from the wall so you're not hitting it, and then we're just going to bend the legs slightly. We're going to start to swing the arms side to side. So the arms are heavy and loose. You can even begin to kind of slap your own body. That's how loose your hands and your arms are. Make sure you're breathing. Again, mobility in the spine. And 3, and 2, and 1. And come back to center. Bring your feet right underneath your hips. Breathe in, bring your arms up overhead. Let's open the chest by cactusing the arms. Draw your elbows down, lift your chin away from your chest, looking up at the ceiling. Breathe in, lift your arms up overhead. As you breathe out, bring your hands behind your back for a chest expansion. So you're gonna interlace your fingers, press your fists down, lift your chin up off of your chest, and then hinge forward from your hips and come into a forward fold with chest expansion. Hold here for 3 breaths. As you breathe in, come back to a stand, release your hands on the way. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus your arms. Breathe in, lift your arms up overhead, tall mountain. Exhale, release your arms alongside your body. All right, so we're gonna come back down onto our mats. We're going to be looking at the wall, and we're gonna come into child's pose. So bring your knees wide, bring your toes to touch. Walk your hands forward, release your forehead down onto your mat or toward your mat. Breathe in and out. One more breath here in extended child's pose. Okay, so you can stay here in child's pose, or you can make your way closer to the wall. We're gonna get a big chest and shoulder opener here. So you're gonna keep your knees wide, you're gonna bring your hands onto the wall, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then you're gonna start to release your chest down toward your mat. And you can adjust your hands to the height that feels like you're getting the most beneficial and deep stretch in your shoulders. So you're just letting the weight of your body and gravity bring your chest and your head a little bit closer to the floor, opening your shoulders, opening your back. As you hold it, continue breathing. You can maybe even adjust your hands a little bit more and get a little bit deeper into the stretch by bringing your hands a little bit further up the wall. The placement of your hands or in other postures of your feet on the wall are going to depend on where you're at in your own body. So you make adjustments as you hold the posture to get the maximum benefits out of the posture. We're just going to take one more breath here. All right, so release from the pose. You can just walk your hands down the wall, press off the wall so you're coming back into a seated position. Okay, we're gonna take a spinal twist now on our backs. So what you're gonna do is sit as close to the wall as you can, and then you're gonna lie down on your back and place your feet up, or your legs up the wall. So go ahead and get yourself into position. Bring your hands to a capital T position, palms facing down on the ground. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're gonna release your feet to the left. So you can just kind of walk them down the wall like you're making a rainbow until they reach the floor. If it feels like too much in the twist, too much depth in the twist, you can always bend your legs and then take your feet and press them to the wall. Or you can experiment with both, whatever feels like you're getting the most out of the pose, legs straight or legs bent, take that variation. And of course, the alternative for your arms is to come into a goalpost shape versus a capital T shape. So you would take your arms to a 90-degree angle with your palms facing up toward the ceiling. Now let's come back through center. You can use the strength in your legs, or you can kind of walk your legs up the wall through center and then bring them to the right. Again, walking your feet down the wall or sliding them all the way to the floor. And again, same option on this side. You can have your legs bent with your feet touching the wall. It's just going to be a different sensation in your body. So maybe experiment with both options. All right, bring your legs back to center. Bring your arms alongside your body. Take one breath in legs up the wall pose. We're gonna do this pose later in class for a longer amount of time. Complete your exhale here. All right, bend your legs and just rock your way onto your side. Press up to standing. So we're gonna do a couple of standing poses, utilizing the wall to check in with our alignment in a couple of different postures. So we're gonna start, this is my favorite pose to do at the wall, with triangle pose. You often will get the cues in a yoga class to imagine that your body is sandwiched between two panes of glass and that you want your body like nice and flat. But oftentimes it's hard to feel that in our body. So the wall is a great place to practice. So we're going to take our legs, separate them, bring your left toes off to the side, and then bring your right toes in at about a 45-degree angle. Your back is flat against the wall. Now bring your arms to parallel to the earth. You can face your palms out, and then we're gonna come into triangle pose from here. So you're just gonna tick-tock your arms. You're gonna keep them in line with one another as you bring your left hand down toward your left shin or your left ankle or the floor. Now, notice your right shoulder. Can you press your right shoulder back against the wall? And then notice your right hip. Can you press your right hip back against the wall? So oftentimes a common mistake, if you will, in this posture is to try to reach your foot at the sacrifice of the alignment of your spine. So oftentimes you'll start to bend, bringing your shoulder forward, where you want to stay upright and lifted. Now lastly, notice your core. Can you feel your core working to hold you in this position? If your hand is touching the floor and your back and your hip are flat to the wall, don't dump weight into your hand and your arm. You want to keep your core so active and so engaged that it's lifting you up. All right, now use your core, come all the way back. Arms are parallel to the ground, and let's switch sides. So bring your right toes, face them to the right. Bring your left toes into about a 45-degree angle. Press your back flat against the wall, arms flat against the wall, palms facing out. Shift your right hand forward and tick-tock your arms so they stay in line with one another as you bring your right hand toward your right shin or ankle or the floor. Your left hand is reaching up toward the ceiling. Your arms should be straight up and down. Now, notice your left shoulder, press it against the wall. Notice your left hip, press it against the wall. Bring your awareness to your core. Engage your core. If your hand is on your shin or on the floor, use your core to lift yourself up so that you're not dumping weight into that hand or that arm. You can even take your gaze up toward the ceiling. Okay, use your core. Come all the way back up, arms parallel to the ground. Release your hands down, and then walk your feet back to center. All right, the next posture we're gonna be facing the wall again. This posture is gonna help us with strength along the spine, strength in the core, and flexibility in the shoulders. So once again, depending on your body, you can make adjustments to the height of your hand. But imagine, before you go into it, that you're looking at yourself from the side and you're at a 90-degree angle. So you're going to want to walk away from the wall and then turn toward it. And then you're gonna have to adjust your distance from the wall based on how far down the wall you go. So go ahead and come forward, place your hands on the wall, shoulder distance apart, fingers spread wide. So imagine that you're on your mat, you're looking down at your hands just like you're in a plank position. All right, now start to walk your hands down the wall, bringing them into alignment with your shoulders. And again, you might have to walk your feet a little bit further backward. Okay, so get your hands in the position where you're basically at a 90-degree angle. Spread your toes nice and wide. You can look down at your feet. Keep your head in line with your tailbone. So you're not dropping your chin down and looking back to the back of your mat. You're looking straight down at your mat. Press into the wall so you're activating your shoulders. This is good preparation for inversions on our hands and on our head. So again, really active in the shoulders. Press the wall. Like you're pressing away from it, but you're staying right here. Take one more breath here. okay? Come all the way back up, walk your hands up the wall, and turn around, shake out your hands, your wrists, feel all that blood coming back into the shoulders and the arms and the hands. All right, the next pose we're gonna do is a strength building pose called chair pose. So chair pose, it's not everyone's favorite yoga pose, but it's an important one, really good for strengthening the quadriceps. And we're doing it against the wall, so you're gonna have a very different experience of this pose. So you're gonna want, once again, it's gonna depend on the length of your legs and your position. So we're gonna basically come into, once again, a 90-degree angle with the thighs and the shins, all right? So bring your back against the wall. So you're flat against the wall, and then walk your feet to a position where you can bring your thighs parallel to the floor. So I'm just continuing to scoot my feet a little bit further out until I basically look like I'm sitting in a chair, but nothing's there to support me except for my quads. So press into your heels. You can have your hands resting on your quads, the tops of your legs, your thighs, or if you want, you can bring them to heart center like we do in yoga class. So hands at heart center or on your thighs. Hopefully already you're feeling the heat and the intensity in your legs. I know I am, but we're gonna continue to breathe through the sensation. So in and out through your nose, but nice and long and slow, holding the pose, building that heat, feeling the intensity. You can press your back against the wall, feel your heels on the floor. You've got this. You've got this. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Now you can use your hands, come up to a stand. That's good. So building that stamina in chair pose. This is great if you're a skier getting ready for ski season. Great posture to practice. All right, now we're gonna take that pose, the intensity of that pose, and build in a hip stretch to it. So what we're gonna basically be doing is seated pigeon. This is a great pose that you can actually practice in a chair as well. So you're gonna basically come back to where you just were. Your feet should be in the right position. Sit into your chair. Now you're gonna take all of your weight into your right foot. Bring your left foot on top of your right knee. And flex your left toes so they're in line with your left heel. Your left heel should be in line with your left knee. And again, whatever hand and arm position you want is great. So wow, feel that intensity right away coming back into the right thigh. And then you're getting a nice stretch in your left hip. So if you want to, you can press your left hand onto your left knee. See if you can bring that knee a little bit lower than your right knee. Okay, now we're going to take the left foot right back onto the floor, press up just to give that leg a break. We're gonna come right back into it though and do the other side. So sit back into your chair, bring your weight into your left foot. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Sit down, flex your foot, toes in line with heel, heel in line with knee. You can have your hands just gently resting on your thighs, or you can take your right hand, press it into your right knee, bringing it a little bit closer to the floor. And of course, you're pressing your back into the wall. Feel that heat, that intensity building right away into your left thigh. Complete your exhale here. All right, use your hands. Press your way up to a stand and just go ahead and shake out your legs, shake out your feet and ankles. Roll my wrists too. All right. Okay, working hard, even though we're not moving a lot. I know I'm building up a little bit of a sweat, so good stuff here. Now we're going to come down onto our shins and we're going to stretch out the quads, the muscles we just worked. So this is a pretty intense stretch, really good if you're, really good for all of you, but if you're a runner, this is a great stretch to practice. So what we're gonna do, and it takes a little maneuvering to get into this pose, we're gonna take the right shin and you're gonna bring your right knee toward the wall. Now, if you have really sensitive knees, you can double up your mat or you can put like a towel or your bolster, something soft under your knee. Bring your left foot and bring it forward so you're basically in a low lunge position. So your heel ankle is right underneath your knee. Now, this might feel really intense right here. If you want more, go for it. So, if you want more, take your hands onto your thigh. You can interlace your fingers, press onto your hands, and whoa, feel that. So quad, getting right up here into the hip flexor. We're gonna hold it, so deep, deep stretch, opening the front of the leg. You can gently draw your tailbone down toward the floor. So this is a great stretch for your psoas, which connects the lower half of the body to the upper half of the body and the front to the back. So great pose, hard to get a stretch there, but this is one way to do it. All right, we're gonna release. You can maybe push your way a little bit closer to the wall and switch sides. So not always a graceful way to get in and out of these poses, but grace doesn't matter right now. So now we're gonna switch sides. Bring your left knee toward the wall. And then your toes are facing up toward the ceiling. So your shin is resting against the wall. Again, you can pad underneath your knee. Now, with your right leg, bring your foot flat to your mat. Your leg is at a 90-degree angle from the side. So your knee is right over your shin and your ankle. If this feels like a huge stretch, that's great. Stay right here. You can even use your 2 blocks to prop you up if you'd like. You want to go deeper, take your hands onto your thigh, interlace your fingers, press your hands into your thigh, and then bring your torso up off of your thigh. You can press your hips back toward the wall to deepen into that stretch. Pretty intense. Such an awesome stretch. So you should feel it in your quad, feel it in your hip. Deep stretch, but you're working here as well. It's a great thing about yoga. It's this combo of stretch and strength at the exact same time. Alrighty. Okay, we're gonna release. So if your hands are on your thigh, bring them to the floor, bring that shin off of the wall. All right, next we're going to do some strength building movements for the core and the muscles along the spine. We're gonna use our strap here. So, but if you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. I will cue the correct position. If you do have a strap, just place that loop right above your knees. It should be all set up for you at the right distance. So once again, it looks like this. Everything is nice and in line, and it's above your knees. And then you're gonna face the wall. Bring your hips to the wall like we did in that twist, and then bring your legs up the wall. Now, we're gonna bend both legs and take your feet flat to the wall. All right, from here, you're going to start to articulate your spine and lift your hips off of the floor. Now we're gonna make an adjustment. So you're gonna have to move around on your mat. Imagine your own body, you're looking at it from the side. I want you to bring your legs so that they're at a 90-degree angle. So feet are in line with knees, knees are in line with hips. You can have your arms in like a goalpost position or resting alongside your body with your palms facing down. Keep holding it here. And then we're gonna add some flowing movement. Okay, so if you have the strap around your legs, press your legs out. So you're really activating the outer hips here and the glutes as well. If you do not have a strap, that's totally fine. Just keep your knees in line with your hips and your ankles. All right, let's add that movement here. So you're just gonna roll back down, and once your tailbone reaches the floor, actively press into your heels and roll back up. And you're just gonna keep on moving, so rolling down and up. It's slow, but at your own pace. So you're not rushing through the movement. And just be in observation of what's happening in your body. This is why it's great to go slow enough. You can feel your spine on the floor. You can feel your glutes working. You can feel the pressure in your feet. And then once again, if you have that strap around your legs, you can press your knees out, but they're not gonna go anywhere because you have the strap. This activates those muscles that are sometimes hard to get to. Continue breathing. So we do this a lot in yoga on the floor. This would be like a bridge pose with movement. We're gonna do one more, roll up, roll down at your own pace. Hopefully you're feeling some heat building in your legs and your glutes. Somebody might look at you and think, well, it doesn't look like too much, but I think you're gonna feel it in your body after this class. All right, now take your feet and walk them a footstep up the wall, and then you can slide your hips a little bit further toward the wall. You'll see where we're going with this. So feet are higher, hips are closer, but they're not touching the wall yet. Okay, so same thing. You're going to just move as you lift your hips. This time your knees are gonna come past your ankles if you were looking at yourself from the side, so you're going higher. Okay, and then roll down. So same thing, rolling up, rolling down. Nice and slow, but at your own pace. I hope you didn't stop moving because I stopped talking. Keep moving. Just take that opportunity to notice your body, what's happening in your body. Can you feel all of the muscles that are working to make this movement happen? We're gonna do one more roll up and one more roll down. All right, this time when your tailbone reaches the floor, you can rest it down. And then we're going to do one more. So now you're gonna have to scoot your way all the way so that your hips, your glutes touch the wall. Your legs are almost straight. You have a little bend in your legs. So at this point, your feet are not touching the wall. They're not gonna touch the wall until you start moving your spine. Okay, so same thing here. If your hands are touching the wall, you can bend your arms or you can rest them on your body, whatever. All right, so let's start to roll up. Now, when you roll up, your feet will touch the wall. And then roll down and your toes will come away from the wall. Your legs are almost straight, but not quite. Roll up and down. Keep going. One more, roll up and roll down. Lots of strength building in your hamstrings, your low back. Okay, when your tailbone reaches the floor, rest it down. Now, you don't have to remove your strap. If you have a strap, you're just gonna start to bring your knees toward your chest. So for me at this point with my knees to chest pose, my feet are on the wall, which is great. So you can press your feet against the wall, and the sensation that you might feel is a release of your low back. So you're basically lengthening your spine. So as you press your heels against the wall, feel your low back lengthen. You're also getting a compression in your hip flexors. This is just a really great posture overall. So I'm just kind of pressing and releasing. You can do it a couple more times if you're doing the same. All right, now we're just going to release by rolling to one side or the other. At this point, you can take your strap off of your legs if you have a strap and come all the way back onto your mat, facing the camera. Sit your hips to your heels, take your hands to your thighs, take a deep breath in, and an open mouth exhale. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is an inversion, a couple of inversions. So this is a great place to practice because you have the wall. If you do not need a wall for an inversion, you don't have to use it. So we're going to practice headstand, and the traditional yoga variation of headstand, which is not a tripod headstand. So I'm going to show you, while you're looking at the camera, the position for your arms, and then we'll face the wall. So you're gonna take your hands, interlace your hands, and then make a triangle with your forearms. Now, this position from the side is going to be the same as when your forearms are on the floor. So your shoulder is in line with your elbow, and your hands are interlaced, all right? So this is the position for your tripod headstand. Now, when you come onto the floor, you're going to you can take your hand, bring your wrist to your nose. Okay. Turn to the side again. Bring your wrist to your nose, and then stretch your hand nice and long, and take your middle finger and take it to the top of your head. Press it hard so you can feel it. And then this is the place on your head that you're going to put your weight. So I think we often think it's like right on the top of our head, but it's a little bit further forward. So when you come down onto your mat, you're gonna have this space. It's basically like a little cup here that you're going to take to the back of your palms of your hands to the back of your head. Feel that bony piece in your skull, and you're gonna cup that with your hands. All right, and then you'll be in that triangle position. Your forearms will be on the floor, and that spot will be on the floor. So let's do this. So we're gonna face the wall now. You're gonna bring your head basically about a handprint away from the wall. So make that triangle, bring your head onto your mat, squeeze the palms of your hands into the head. Now, tuck your toes under and come up to what would look like a down dog, all right, or a dolphin pose, but your head is on the floor. Now, you can tuck into a little ball and bring your legs up the wall, or you can split your legs and kick. Now, as much as possible, do a gentle kick. And then imagine yourself without the wall. It's gentle enough that you're not toppling over. Okay, and then once you're up on your head, and then, if you're not there yet, just keep trying and try those different variations, tucking into a ball or splitting your legs, a little gentle kick. Okay, if you're on your head, take your forearms, press into them so much that you can lift your head off of the floor. All right, you won't be able to see it if you're looking at yourself, but you can feel it. This is a great release for the spine. So you're getting the inversion, all of the benefits of the inversion with having your body upside down without a ton of pressure on your neck. This is why this posture, this variation of this posture, is advantageous over a tripod headstand because you can actually use your forearms to take the weight off of your head. See, I can like move my head and shake it yes and no. So great, great posture here. All right, if you gave up on your headstand, that's totally fine. If you're in a headstand, come on down. And then the release for headstand, the counter pose, is a child's pose. So just take your hips to your heels, rest your forehead on your mat, let your arms be heavy. Let your neck release. Okay, so release from child's pose. You can face the camera again. All right, so the next pose we're gonna do, just because we have the wall, we're gonna take advantage of it. So you can try it. If it's not in your practice yet, maybe this is the time that you see what's up. All right, so handstand. Handstand can be a very intimidating pose because without a wall, it's very common to, you have to do a decent kick, so you might flip over. So now we have the wall to save us. All right, so for handstand, go ahead and come onto your feet. You're going to want to come into a downward facing dog facing the wall. So place your hands on the floor about a hand step away from the wall, and then come into downward facing dog. Now, from downward facing dog, we're going to walk our feet toward our hands about 2 small footsteps. Okay, and we're gonna take turns with our legs kicking up. So let's start by bending the right leg. Take the left foot a little bit further back. Look past your hands down at your mat in the direction of the corner of the floor. And then you can start pressing into the ball of your right foot, and you're gonna start kicking your left foot up. Okay, so you can do small kicks just to gain a little bit of confidence. Okay, that's great. And you know what? If you're doing this, that's exercise right there. Or you can do a nice quality kick, get your feet, both feet, all the way up to the wall. If your feet are touching the wall, go ahead and press your heels into the wall and then lift out of your shoulders. So imagine you're doing like a push-up. So you've got your balance here with the assistance of the wall, so you can play around here. So pressing into your hands, lifting out of your shoulders, so you can even feel your heels slide against the wall. Okay, building a lot of arm strength here. And bonus, you're upside down. So all the benefits of an inversion, you can't talk upside down, with your head below your heart. All right, if your legs are up the wall, go ahead and come down. This time, let's take embryo pose as a release. So bring your knees and feet together, hips to your heels. Take your arms alongside your body with the tops of your hands resting on the floor and your forehead resting on the floor. This is a great release for your upper back, shoulders, and arms. Okay, one more breath here. Alrighty, you can roll up from your embryo pose, face the camera. All right, we could do poses at the wall all day. There are so many poses and so many benefits. We're gonna do a couple of balancing poses now with the support of the wall. So the first pose we're gonna do is Warrior 3 against the wall. So once again, a little bit tricky to get into the pose using the wall, which is why we're not flowing between postures. So you're gonna have to make your own personal adjustments. Now, once again, imagine yourself from the side. You're going to be making a 90-degree angle with your standing foot and your lifted leg. So let's start by bringing our hands to our heart. Now you're gonna be far enough away from the wall. You can even test it by sitting with your feet against the wall. Mark where your sitting bones are, and that's where your feet are going to be on your mat. It's not an exact science, so play around with it, all right? Now, let's start by standing on our left leg. Take your hands to your heart, and you're gonna basically bring your torso so that it's parallel to the earth, and you're gonna bring your right leg. See, I'm gonna have to move out first. So again, you're gonna play with it. Not an exact science here. Until your torso is parallel to the floor and your leg, your lifted leg, your right leg is also parallel to the earth. All right, I found my position. Did you find yours? Now, you can keep your hands at your heart. Press your foot against the wall. Now, for full warrior 3 expression, you can bring your arms straight out in front of you so they're parallel to the earth as well. All right, this takes a ton of strength in your standing leg, but you've got the stability in your balance because your foot should be pressing against that wall. Okay, bring your hands back to your heart if they're extended, and then bring your right foot to meet your left, and then shake out your legs. Whew, that's intense. Building strength, and you get that support with your balance with your foot against the wall. Well, now I have a better idea of where I'm gonna stand on my mat, and hopefully you do too. So taking your opposite leg, so you're gonna be standing on your right leg now. So you can take your hands once again to your heart, and you're going to stand on your right leg, your right foot, and you're gonna bring your left foot to the wall behind you as you tilt your torso, hinging from your hips forward until it's parallel to your mat. All right, so your foot against the wall, your toes are pointing down toward the floor, heel is pointing up toward the ceiling. Press against the wall. Warrior 3, extend your arms forward. Palms facing one another. Okay, if your arms are extended, bring your hands back to your heart. And then bring your left foot to meet your right, release your hands, and then just shake out your legs. Wow, Warrior 3 against the wall. That's a good one. All right, last standing balancing pose that we're gonna do is big toe hold against the wall. All right, so we're going to start by pressing our back against the wall. So this is gonna help us with our alignment. Now, if you have a strap, you might wanna use the strap, and you can place it around your foot. You can put your foot in the loop, and then you can bring, okay, so we're gonna start by standing on our right leg, right foot. We're gonna bring our left foot up. So if you're holding onto the strap, you're holding your strap in your left hand. Bring your right hand to your hip. Now, the alternative, if you don't wanna use a strap or don't have a strap, is to bring your peace fingers around your big toe. Now press your back against the wall. Keep it pressed against the wall as you extend your left leg forward. Okay, now we're gonna open it up. So you're gonna bring your right hand against the wall, your right arm, I mean, and then you're gonna bring your right leg against the wall. So, or in that direction, okay? So working in that direction. All right, don't really have it yet, but working in that direction. Okay, so keep your hips pressed against the wall, balancing here. And release. Interesting against the wall, huh? All right, let's switch sides. So if you're using a strap, you're gonna place the strap around your right foot, You're gonna take your weight onto your left foot and then bring your right foot with you as you bend your leg, okay? Or take your right peace fingers around your right big toe. So this is called big toe hold. Alrighty. Now press your back against the wall. You can begin to straighten through your right leg, hand on your hip. And then if you want to open it up, you're going to take your left arm against the wall and open to the left, or I'm sorry, to the right. And release. All right, so just shake that one off. We're gonna do one more standing balancing posture tree. So we're gonna stand on our left foot first. And we're going to bring our right foot to our ankle, calf, or inner thigh. Maybe if you don't typically bring your foot to your inner thigh, this might be a great place to practice because you get the support with your balance of the wall. Now press your back against the wall. And let's just start by bringing our hands to the heart for one breath. So feel your foot grounded on the floor. Release your exhale. And then bring your arms up and take the backs of your hands against the wall, the back of your head against the wall. And maybe since you have the wall here, you can close your eyes. So this is amazing because you get all the amazing benefits of tree pose, double amazing there. And you're taking the balance out of it. So just feel your foot grounded on the floor. Feel your spine nice and long. Press your foot into your inner thigh and press your inner thigh into your foot. So opposing forces. So you should be able to feel your muscle working with the sole of your right foot. If your arms get tired up, you can bring them back to your heart. Complete your exhale here. Release your foot back to the floor. And you can once again shake it out, roll out your ankle. And we're gonna switch sides. So standing now on your right foot, bring your left foot to wherever is accessible to you today. Got the wall there to support your balance, so take advantage of that. And then once your foot is in a comfortable position, I didn't cue this on the other side, but I just noticed it in my own body. You're gonna bring your knee in the direction of the wall. So you're opening up your inner thighs and your hips. And again, hands at heart for a breath. You can close your eyes, feeling nice and balanced. Complete your exhale here, and then you can lift your arms up. Press the backs of your hands to the wall. Press the back of your head to the wall. Close your eyes. Now press your inner thigh into the sole of your foot and the sole of your foot into your inner thigh. Or maybe your foot's on your calf or your ankle. That's fine as well. But feel your muscle working to hold you in this position. And again, remember, you can always have your hands at your heart if that feels more stabilizing or comfortable. Pressing that knee back in the direction of the wall. Inner thigh is active, pressing against the sole of your foot, and release. Wow, tree against the wall. Just great. Alrighty, you're done standing. We are gonna do one more little bit of work. All right, so we're gonna do some core exercises using the wall. So go ahead and come into legs up the wall pose. So bring your hips to the wall, scoot them close, and then bring your legs up the wall. Okay, flex your feet back. Now, we're going to basically do some mini sit-ups here, working the upper abdominals, all right? So bring your hands behind your head, bring your elbows slightly toward the ceiling, you're cupping the back of your head, but you're not using your hands and cranking your neck. So use your core and start to lift till your shoulder blades come off the floor, your chin is away from your chest, and lower. Okay, continue to lift and lower. We're just doing 10. So that was 8 right there. Three, 2, 1, hold it. Spread your elbows wide, lift your chin closer to the ceiling, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, relax your arms, relax your head. All right, now bend your legs, press your feet to the wall. Keep your knees at ankle and hip distance apart. Bring your right elbow to your left knee. See if you can touch it and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center and switch sides. Bring your left elbow to your right knee. Touch it and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And guess what we're doing next? Going side to side. So just rock back and forth and make sure that you make contact elbow to knee. So you're lifting so high that you can touch your elbow to your knee. And just keep going. Okay, this is 5, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now 1, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And switch and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your back onto the floor. All right, let's move into some deep stretches. So take your feet, take the soles of your feet together. Make sure that your glutes and your hips are on the wall. And you're gonna come into reclined butterfly pose. So with the weight of your legs and gravity and the support of the wall, maybe you can bring your feet a little bit closer towards your tailbone. It's a different sensation than when you're sitting on the floor. Now, what I like to do in this position, just because I think it feels good, is, so you don't have to do this if it doesn't feel good, take your hands to your knees and then press your knees toward the wall. Okay. We sometimes do this when we're seated and taking butterfly pose with our elbows. When we have our hands around our ankles and our elbows on our knees, well, that's not accessible here against the wall. So you can actually use your hands. Complete your exhale. Okay, now relax your knees, take your hands off your knees, bring your knees together. And this is gonna be your knees to chest with your feet against the wall, so we're not holding it for long this time. Now we're gonna do that low back release. So now walk your feet about a footstep up. Take your hands on top of your thighs, close to your knees, and then roll your tailbone up off the floor. So your bottom ribs are still on the floor, so you're not coming all the way up to your shoulder blades, if that makes sense. Now press your hands into your knees, and then press into your feet. Feel your low back release. Hopefully that's what you feel. I personally do in my body. Got to be active in it though. So you're pressing against your knees, but you're pressing into your feet. All right, now roll your tailbone down onto the floor. We're gonna do reclined pigeon pose here. So keep your right foot where it is and cross your left ankle over your right knee. And then you're going to use your hand to press your knee a little bit closer to the wall. And if you want, you can lift your tailbone up off the floor. But if you don't want to do that variation, just keep it down on the floor. Either way, you're getting a hip stretch. What I like to do in holding postures, whether you're doing a wall class or otherwise, is to experiment with different positions. And always, the rule is no pain. Okay, so sensation for sure, but no pain. So if you're experimenting with a position and it's like, oh, that just feels horrible, don't do it. That's your body talking to you. Let's switch sides. So bring your left foot to the wall, bring your right ankle over your left knee. All right, you can keep your hips down and press your knee toward the wall, or you can lift your hips up. Alrighty, and bring both feet back to the wall, bring them down toward the floor, knees to chest with your feet against the wall. All right, the pose we've all been waiting for, or at least I have, legs up the wall. All right, legs up the wall is a highly restorative posture. Now, if you want to use your blocks, you can. This is gonna give you a little more height. If you want to use your bolster, a little more cushion, your choice. If you don't have either, you're just gonna rest your tailbone on the floor. Okay, so bring your legs up the wall, so your legs are straight. If you have your blocks, place them underneath your tailbone, whatever height. It's just a nice release for the back. Or take your bolster, slide it underneath, and then rest down. Okay, so get into position, to a comfortable position. So you're getting a hamstring stretch here. You're reversing the flow of blood like you are in all inversions. This posture is best known for reducing anxiety, releasing tension. This pose is really good for blood pressure. It's great for your spine. It's relaxing and restorative. So I can't say I do this every single day, but most nights, if I can, I do this before bed. So it's a great posture to relax your nervous system, which is why it's great before bed. But it doesn't mean that if you practice it at a different time of day, it's gonna like put you to sleep or anything. It's just that's what's happening in your body, which is beneficial to rest, relaxation, and of course, rejuvenation. So just enjoy the benefits of this posture. And if you can fit this into your day, every day, well, it will be better for you. Now you can stay right here if you're really comfortable and relaxed, or if you want the inner thigh stretch, you can bring your legs into a straddle. Personally, this is one of my very favorite wall yoga poses, is straddle splits on the wall. And you can do this on a block or your bolster, or if you want to, you can remove your props out from underneath you. The reason I like this posture is because, again, the weight of your legs and the force of gravity is doing the work for you to help you gain more flexibility in your inner thighs. So it's a passive way to gain flexibility. All right, and lastly, our final pose is Shavasana. If you would like to remain in legs of the wall or legs of the wall in a straddle, you can. If you want to take traditional Shavasana, you're just going to scoot your way away from the wall, extend your legs long, let them rest heavy on the floor. Let your feet fall open, and let your arms rest alongside your body. Let's all breathe in together, filling up from low belly, mid belly, ribs, lungs, holding it at the top. Release it through your mouth. Come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Letting it flow easily and fluidly in and out through your nose and mouth. Whatever position you're in, you're going to make your way onto your side. Just take one more breath here on your side before you come to seated, just in gratitude for this practice and for your nice, strong wall supporting you throughout this practice. And when you're ready, you can make your way up to a seated position, and we'll close together. Bring your hands to your heart, breathe in through your nose, hold it at the top. Release it through your mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart.